Welcome back to the Love is Blind recap of the show that we love and hate watching. Okay, we love to hate watch this show. So this is season 4, episode 2. The last episode we ended off with our girl Tiffany of our favorite couple, Biffany. Okay, she fell asleep. She fell asleep as Brett was confessing her love. And because they can't see each other, he doesn't know what's going on. He's freaking out. He's panicked. He thinks that she's left, right? Like.
And then I'm telling her how I feel. I'm talking, it's quiet.
So then he just leaves. So this episode opens up and Tiffany is awoken by our fave. I love Chelsea now. Okay, we love Chelsea and April, who we don't really get much of, unfortunately. I think it would have been nice to see more of her. She seems super, super sweet. They're singing Daddy's Home by Usher to wake Tiffany up. And then Tiffany magically rises from the dead. She awakes from her sleep, which is comical, but also kind of sad at the same time because she's like waking up, she's dancing, she's happy, but then she's like, oh my God, where's Brett?
It was rigged. Rigor Morris, girl. It was rigor Morris.
I fell asleep on Brett. And she realizes this and she feels terrible, as she should. Girl, how could you let our man down like that? So then we get to meet Marshall a little bit more.
In the pods, right off the bat, I can be sensitive and it's accepted.
And I just love him, okay? He just brings the right energy. He seems like he would be the perfect partner. And he's linked up with Jackie, who we didn't really get too much of in the first episode. But remember, I said I love her. She is me. I am her. But not so much. Not so much this episode. Because she acts in ways that I would not act like if I knew I had a good man like Marshall. So again, we meet Marshall. He gives everything that needs to be gave, honestly. He's sweet, he's caring, he's endearing, he's sensitive. He has a lot of emotional maturity and he has a lot of depth to him. Jackie better choose him.
I know something you don't know.
Then Marshall and Jackie are meeting. Marshall then opens up about how his dad treated him when he was growing up, him and his siblings, but primarily focusing on him. Him and Jackie, they cry together, which I thought was a really sweet moment. Again, I love that the men are bringing the emotional vulnerability this season, and that weight is not being put on the women. Maybe this season won't be so trash. Maybe. But maybe it will. We'll see. Then he talks about how his dad used to belittle him, and he says this.
You're gonna be on the side of the road begging for change, and I'm not gonna stop to give you any.
And this comment, I can't lie to you, it literally had me in tears. Like, I was sobbing. Like, as someone who has experienced varying types of like verbal abuse from a variety of people, it's always so heartbreaking to hear other people's stories, but it felt really good to see that he was comfortable talking about it. And obviously it still affects him. He was coming at the situation from a place of like, I don't want to treat my kids like this. I don't want to make my kids feel this way, instead of just talking about how it hurt him, which makes me like him so much more. Jackie's reassurance of the whole situation was really sweet and lighthearted.
I'd probably put you in my car. I'd be like, hey, you want to go for a ride, man?
It eased the moment up, but also made me realize that they would be so cute together. Like, I want them together. Now, the only couple who's going to get a nickname from me this season is Biffany. Nobody else gets one. But if Jackie and Marshall, they get better in the next couple episodes, maybe they'll get one. The conversation then ends with Marshall saying that he only wants Jackie, and Jackie kind of insinuating the same thing, but not being super clear about it. But at the time, it seemed like she was being super clear. It seemed like they were committing to each other exclusively, and I was really happy for them. But the Brampton boys are going to do what the Brampton boys do.
This guy stinks!
I hated that they gave us this scene with Marshall and Jackie before they let us know what was going on with Biffany, okay? We need to be updated with our favorite couple. Back to Biffany. They get together, she apologizes, he forgives her, right? He understands, he's not super upset about it anymore, which was nice, because I was like, this can either go one of two ways. He's going to be really upset and hold it over her head, or he's going to be super understanding and forgive her and move on, because obviously they're filming all the time, like it's an exhausting process, and he just forgives her. So I was like, yay, green flag, green flag, green flag. And then he proposes.
Will you marry me?
But I was like, fuck, finally. We were waiting. So then we go back to the Quami, Micah, Chelsea love triangle, which Quami thinks is a triangle, but in reality, it's just Micah playing mind games with everybody because she don't really want him like that. So Quami is really going to mess himself up if he keeps emotionally committing himself to Micah over Chelsea, which is exactly what he continues to do because Micah doesn't care about him. But he absolutely should have committed himself more to our Chelsea, who is giving him everything that he wants and that he needs, rather than telling Micah his wants and needs and seeing if she'll do it. Because then if she'll do it, then he'll pick her. It's like, why don't you just go with the person who's already doing it and you didn't even have to ask or tell them? Micah goes in and her and Paul have a conversation, like, we're gonna make it exclusive. You need to cut off your other connections. Paul doesn't really want to do this. You could tell he still wants to explore things with Amber.
I've definitely felt like really good about her.
But because he thinks Micah is fully committed to him, he's going to cut off his other connections because she said she'll do the same. Meanwhile, just 2 minutes ago, she was telling Quami that she wanted him. So then she goes in and tells Quami, like, I want to pursue my connection with someone else and I want to end it here. And he's really respectful to the point, like, okay, cool, wish you all the best. And then she's like mad that he didn't fight for her.
Today drained me.
Girl, this is not high school. So then Kwame goes back to the men's headquarters and he's literally full on body sobbing. Like, he is distraught. Meanwhile, Micah, the evil witch, she's laughing. Paul then goes and ends things with Amber, even though it really does not seem like he wants to at all. Like, at all. But I think he did it because he wanted to prove to Micah that he was committed to her and only her, and he only wanted her. But you could tell that he had a good connection with Amber. I really do feel, and this is not just because I hate Micah, I do feel like Paul and Amber would have worked out and they would have been so much better than Micah and Paul. And they would have looked better too.
I'm petty. Yeah, I'm petty.
So Amber obviously does not take this well because she did not see this coming. Paul was not very open with her about how he was feeling between her and Micah. So then she's like, yeah, I'm not one of those people who's gonna be like, yeah, I wish you the best and blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna be fake about it.
Fuck you, Paul.
So then Amber comes back in, she's distraught, she's in pain. And then the evil witches, the mean girls, okay, of the season, Micah and Irina, are smiling, laughing, and are happy that Amber is upset and in pain. Micah deserves to get her ass beat, and Irina should be next in line. I just wish all the girls would jump them. Just jump them. There can't be that many producers to stop y'all. Just jump them. Violence doesn't solve everything. Violence solves a lot of things, I think, sometimes, especially in this situation. Chelsea is a real one for talking with Amber, you know, discussing things, making sure she's good. Like, she's a girl's girl, which makes her our girl for real. Brett and Tiffany finally meet. Biffany, they get together. I'm not gonna hold you. I was in shambles. I was so happy. I was like, about them meeting. They look so good together. They seem so in love. So I'm really rooting for them. If they do not work out, it will be like I experienced a breakup myself. Marshall just loves Jackie so very much, and it's so sweet. He makes her more sensitive and safe, which I get it, because as a hard shell girl, like, I really relate to that. You very rarely let that soft side out, especially like not for a man. You know what I mean? Like, ew. But when you are able to let it out and someone does make you feel comfortable and safe enough to do that, it feels amazing. And I think everybody deserves to feel that way. And it made me so happy to see Marshall make Jackie feel that way. So then it comes up in the conversation where he's like talking about, again, how he only wants her, just giving her that reassurance, talking more about exclusivity. All of a sudden, she brings up that Josh told her, Brampton boy, that if she doesn't choose him, then he's leaving. Jackie said that she then did not cut things off with Josh. This to me gave emotional manipulation all the way, because it's very clear that she's feeling Marshall more than she's feeling Josh, but because Josh said that, it kind of scared her, it spooked her, got her in her head about things, which to me, she fumbled. There's no way that you're choosing Josh, Brampton boy, over Marshall.
Be fucking for real.
Marshall just told you that he's in love with you. Get it together, Jackie. So this is a little bit petty, and I don't know if I should even say this, but I'm just gonna say it because these are my thoughts as I was reading it, okay? Micah and Irina, they don't deserve anything from this show. They don't deserve anything positive from it. I hope that they get the most painful of pimples in the most uncomfortable of places for the rest of their lives, because they've been so evil and malicious and mean throughout this process for no reason. Like, nobody did anything to you. Why are you like this? So then Chelsea is talking to one of the girls. I just feel so bad for her because she truly does not deserve to be anyone's second choice, especially not Kwami's second choice. Camera pans back to like Irina and Micah on the couch, and I literally wrote this down and I said, why do I feel like the mean girls pretend to fall asleep so they can eavesdrop on conversations? And then this happens. I just can't stand them. So Chelsea then reconnects with Quami. They have a conversation about how she's feeling, and she holds him accountable for the role that he has played in causing her pain. I like that for her. I like that she held his feet to the fire. You know, like, I understand how you're feeling, but this is how that's making me feel, and that's not acceptable. You know, she was willing to walk away from him, from the whole experiment, from the show, with being single because she knows her worth. And I just want her to be happy. Paul then proposes to Head Witch.
Will you marry me?
Lord have mercy.
And I hope their marriage and their relationship flops. I hope it fails, because that's what she deserves. She says yes, they get engaged.
Paul is just kind of like my twin flame. Like,
no, lady, your twin flame is the devil himself. It's not Paul. Then we go back to Irina and Bliss and Zach. Irina just is so bitter and jealous and insecure and ugly on the inside. I can't stand her. Bliss is just being herself, right? It's Zach's birthday. She prepares some cupcakes for him. Then Irina goes up to her and asks her,
"Can I have one of your candles?"
what?
I'm not gonna bake anything, but can I have one of your candles?
to do something impromptu for Zach's birthday because she forgot about it. But the fact that Bliss remembered made her feel bad. So she wanted to like try and one up Bliss. It just came from a really disingenuous place, especially because Irina knew that she would be going in to see Zach first. So then she goes in there and she talks to Zach and she's blabbering about how she didn't get him anything and how there's like conflict and she feels like Bliss is the insecure, jealous one and just like mean and all this stuff. Basically just lying to him. Again, emotional manipulation, the same thing that Micah, her homegirl, does to try and make him think a certain way about Bliss, which is just not true at all. She's literally the brown-haired version of the head witch. If Micah's the head witch, Irina's the side witch. Micah is Regina George and Irina is Gretchen Wieners. She is so snaky, I cannot stand her. So then Zach loves the cupcakes that Bliss made, right? And he feels very special through her words and her actions that she cares, whereas Sidekick Witch is just all talk. She doesn't actually mean anything. Bliss then opens up about the situation with Irina and is more honest about it than Irina is and accurately portrays the information. But because Zach had already met with Irina and what she had said was already in his mind, right? The lies that he was initially told, he doesn't really believe the truth that Bliss ends up sharing, which I hate. And the episode ends with musty Micah and putrid Paul getting that face-to-face interaction. Like, it literally ends with that. Like, we don't actually see them meeting. It's just like, oh, they're gonna meet in the next episode. So far, the only couple that I'm officially rooting for is Biffany. Everyone else can choke. If you like this recap, then make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video, and make sure to turn on that bell notification. If you want early and exclusive access to these videos and other videos, then make sure to head over to the link in the description to become a patron. Those subscriptions start as low as $5 a month, and it comes with a lot of cool benefits. So I think you should do that. So I hope to see you in the next one. Team Biffany.